Hello. About 3 weeks ago, we went and bought the batteries for Briny, and we chose lithium batteries. And we've been umming and ahhing about lithium for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then, thanks to Cruising the Cut and Gone Goozler TV, we discovered the winds.
Yes.
Gone with the winds. And we were on that point where we were sort of thinking, oh, it's really, really expensive lithium batteries, but at the same time, they look like they're a really good investment. And then when we found Gone with the Winds, and we had a look at their videos on lithium batteries, and it was a huge help.
Yeah.
And we did this video. Lots of things have kind of happened in that 3 weeks, which means we've not been able to upload that video, and we wanted to do it quite quickly. But we're doing it now. So this is an introduction to it. To tell you a few things. It's a long video, but stick with it because there's a lot of really, really good information in it.
Yeah, yeah.
We'd done a load of research after we decided that we were definitely going to go for lithium, and we found this store. Marty did most of the research, and the battery store is owned by a chap called Stuart, who it was just brilliant to meet him. Martin had loads of email conversations. He'd originally contacted him asking for advice about lithium batteries, and Stuart was really, really useful, really helpful.
Yeah.
We asked him if we could do a little video about the battery store and about buying the batteries. When we got there, it was brilliant because we found out that Stuart was one of the first importers of batteries, generally batteries, lead acid batteries, into the UK way back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And has been in batteries all his life.
Yeah.
He's one of the only importers of rely-on batteries in the UK.
Yeah.
In our research, we found that a lot of people had said rely-on. Well, the reviews were good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also the advice that you got from Stuart was really,
Yes.
really useful and helpful. And you want to support that.
Absolutely. And not all lithium batteries are equal, which we find out through the interview.
Yeah. So we asked Stuart if he would say a few words to tell us a little bit about lithium batteries. But it became an interview. It became
much more,
much bigger,
and much richer than we anticipated.
So, if you're at the stage of buying new batteries or changing your batteries, then have a think about lithium. They are really expensive, but Stuart will explain a little bit about why that is and what kind of an investment it is.
He also talks about other batteries as well, so it's not just that this is a sales pitch for lithium.
Yeah, no.
And I found the whole thing very fascinating.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a little kind of potted history of lithium. There's a potted history of batteries. Yeah. We have a list of things that we need to talk to you about. The one thing that we need to make very clear: this is not a sponsored video. Battery store hasn't asked us to do this. We have not taken any money for this or anything. This is something that we wanted to do, and it's just become a bit bigger. Having said that, Battery store have got a stall at Crick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go and have a look at them. The reasons we were interested in lithium was partly to do with it was the current technology. Yay!
We're going to see some funny things now because I've not shut my dog in, so I'm not going to be able to stop the boat, so I'm going to be all over the place.
Oh!
I should have shut her in the room before I got here.
Oh, you'll be brilliant. I think let's go and ask that woman if she wants us to open the locks. Do you want us to open the locks for you?
Yeah, go on then. You know what you're doing.
This one's out again. So that was exciting. So we just met this really lovely woman called Morwenna who was taking her boat from Elton Boat Club
Okay.
down to Northampton, and she had a really lovely dog called Molly. See the photo. I don't know where we go.
Yeah, we're lost.
Why did we decide to go for lithium batteries, Martin?
Because it's current technology.
Yep.
You get more battery for your buck.
Yeah.
They last longer.
Yeah.
And they're environmentally better.
Yeah.
Any other reasons? I'm sure there are others.
You can just leave them alone. So yeah, so they're the main reasons. Have a look at this video. Hopefully you will learn something. We learned loads when we were talking to Stuart, and we really enjoyed it. We really enjoyed meeting it. So there you are. Enjoy this video.
Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll leave more information down below, links and things like that.
Yeah. And if you're at Crick, go and have a look at Battery Store's stall.
Yeah.
And have a chat with them because they're lovely people. See you in a bit.
Bye.
You were telling us how you got involved in batteries.
Well, it starts. My father started to work in about 1970 for Tungstone Batteries, who are here in Market Harborough, where our shop is. And he was the sales director, and he helped expand their business ginormously. So when I finished university, I wanted to do something myself. I'd studied mechanical engineering, so batteries, and I liked what my dad was doing. So he helped me set up the business. So that's how I got involved. And by 20 years after starting, I was selling 1 in 10 car batteries in the UK.
That's fantastic.
But also leisure was my passion. Yeah. So I brought in the first leisure batteries.
To work in...
For boats and caravans, because my dad and I bought a boat. Since I was 12, I bought boats.
And that's
boats,
a motorboat?
Boats. Yeah, so I mean, I love that side of the industry. And I intend to buy a canal boat shortly as well.
Are you going to have lithium batteries in your canal?
100%.
What I was saying was the reason that we've gone for the lithium is because we think it would be just more efficient, energy efficient, better for the environment. That the battery life is much longer and comparable to about 4 lead acid batteries. 1 battery is, but am I wrong?
Well, it's interesting. You're telling me you've done some research, yeah? And where you've done the research is interesting because I don't think there's that many people who actually give advice don't know that much about it themselves. So you could be getting information which is only half right, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, I've been selling batteries since 1979.
Oh my God!
So it gives my age away a bit, doesn't it? And I've sold literally hundreds of thousands of leisure batteries as well as car batteries and everything. So I think I know a little bit about it, and I know a bit about boats as well because I've been in boats all my life as well. And I'm actually currently the vice chairman of the Electric Boat Association. So,
brilliant!
Yeah, so I've got a bit of an interest in batteries and boats. Yeah. The figures can be misinterpreted all over the place as far as batteries are concerned. But a few little simple things. The standard leisure battery is the same leisure battery that actually I was one of the first to produce in 1985. And they used to come from South Africa, was one of the first suppliers. And that's still same battery is kind of there, yeah?
So these are lead acid
These are lead acid flooded batteries, as they call them, which are either you top up or they're sealed now. The only difference between the sealed one is the gas sort of condenses and drips back down. But they're just a standard sort of, they're almost like a truck battery, heavy duty truck battery. That battery will do about 120 cycles at about 50% depth of discharge. That means you can only take half what you say.
So if you've got a 100 amp hour battery...
You should really, if you want it to last 120 times, you shouldn't take more than 50 amp hour out of it.
Okay, right, okay.
If you took the whole 100 amp hour out of it, firstly, The rating for ampere is normally based at C20, they call it, which is 20 hours. So you take that power out over 20 hours.
Right.
So a 100 ampere battery, you would be taking 20 hours, 5 amps. That's all.
Wow.
If you take it out faster, you can't get 100 ampere out of the battery. The 5-hour rate, or C5 as they call it, is probably more like 80 amps.
Right.
Lithium is all of it. If it's 100 amp, you can take 100 amp.
100 amperes.
You can take 100 ampere in an hour. The 1 hour rate on a standard flooded 100 ampere battery is probably 60.
Wow.
Massive difference. If you actually drain the standard battery to 100% capacity, yes, let's just say it was in 20 hours and take 100 amp. If you took the whole lot out, you probably are only going to be able to do that for 60 times.
So half the number of cycles that you would expect
Yeah.
to be able to do it. Oh my God.
But if you wanted to take it 100% out,
Yeah.
that standard leisure battery wouldn't last you 2 months. Nobody realises that.
Oh my God.
They're not designed for that.
Yeah.
They're designed for take a little bit out. Lithium, it will do that at least 2,000 times. So a
Wow.
lithium battery is at least 20 times better than the standard flooded battery. 20 times. So your life expectancy out of these would be anything around 20 years, possibly more.
This is what we were thinking.
Yeah.
This is what we'd read, that they will last about
It's
20
amazing,
hours. Yeah.
amazing difference.
20
Now
years.
there have been advances in lead acid batteries, right?
Yeah.
Which again, the normal leisure user, canal boat user or caravan user isn't really fully aware of yet.
Yeah.
The standard leisure battery that we've talked about, which I introduced in 1985, is based on a truck.
Yeah. So, and it's been marinised, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, not really. It's just
It's
the
just
same.
see, people throw this term of marinised or marinised out there. And
they might make the plate a little bit thicker.
okay.
Yeah, they might use slightly different acid. It's a little bit better than a car battery or truck, but not massively.
Okay.
But it is a little bit better,
Okay.
but not massively.
Yeah.
Whereas with car batteries today, the standard car battery that we had in 1980, that went years ago. They don't use the standard car batteries now. They use AGM batteries for cars.
And these are the gel batteries.
Well, no, AGM. AGM and gel are slightly different.
Okay. Tell me about AGMs. Brilliant.
AGM is an absorbed glass mat. So where you have a positive plate and negative plate, in the middle of that is glass fibre.
Yeah.
And they soak it with acid.
Yeah.
And so you haven't got lots of acid, you've just got a little bit of acid, so they can put thicker plates for these
So it
batteries.
can conduct better
They
and more
hold
efficiently.
more
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
And they discharge and recharge nicer.
Yeah.
It's an AGM battery.
And what's the
And they cycle better. They are 4 times better than the standard flooded battery. AGM battery is 4 times. That will do 600 cycles instead of 120 cycles.
Okay.
And AGM batteries is what they use on electric vehicles.
Right.
Yeah,
Like motor
electric
mobility vehicles.
mobilities.
Yeah.
Golf carts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a deep cycle AGM battery, so it's kind of twice the price of the standard battery, but will last 4 times longer.
yeah,
So it
but
makes
more-
total sense. Then we
Yeah.
move on to gel, which is a better version of AGM. So instead of it having acid, there you use it's gelled acid.
Yeah.
So it's more rigid.
Yeah.
So that's slightly better. The latest lead acid version is a gel battery with tubular plates. And tubular plates is what they use on forklift trucks. So the tubes are more resistant than
And flexible as well? Or?
well, they're more rigid. The
Okay.
flat plate isn't can flat plate battery can move about a bit.
Yeah.
And then when it moves, the paste falls off. A gel tubular battery is 10 times better than a standard flooded battery, whereas your lithium is 20 times. So you're going from what most people think is a standard leisure battery to your lithium over here 20 times better. There are good ones in between.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, where's the benefit with lithium in terms of cycling we've talked about?
Yeah.
The next thing is with a lithium battery, you can take all the power out as quick as you want.
And does it damage the battery if you
No.
drain the power?
Not
out?
really, no.
On
No.
any batteries?
You
though?
can, yeah. On a lead acid, if you drain the whole lot out quicker,
Yeah.
they don't really like that.
Okay.
Not too much.
Right.
They like to work at sort of standard battery's 50%,
Yeah.
AGM is 60%, gel tubular is 80%, lithium 100%.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big difference. And then the other big thing is recharge. When you charge it up, a lithium will say, give me as much current as you want, as fast as you want, I don't care. Until I'm fully charged, so you can go fully charged like that, bang, fully charged.
Yeah.
Flooded battery, AGM or gel says, push it into me and about 80% charge now, or slow down,
Yeah.
slow down.
Steady on.
Yeah. No, I like a lead acid battery to recharge it properly will take at least 12 hours.
Because you have to charge it steadily.
You can charge 80% fairly quick in about 4 hours.
Yeah.
But then you need to equalise it nicely about 8 hours. Most people don't know that.
No.
So people who live on canal boats, live on boards,
Yeah.
run their engine for 4 hours at night, doesn't recharge the battery properly. Never. They should go and hook up somewhere overnight, once a fortnight, to fully charge the batteries. Whereas lithium, when you generate it for a couple of hours, 2, 3, doesn't matter, fully charged. You can never hurt them.
Wow.
You can never hurt them.
So are you saying that they are indestructible?
Yeah. They are
Wow.
basically indestructible. You see, if you leave a lead acid batteries flat, something called sulfation happens. The plates will crystallise and you damage the battery then. A lot of people, that's the dogs, a lot of people in the winter let their batteries go flat.
Yeah.
Then they come in the spring and say, oh, these batteries are faulty, they don't work.
Yeah.
That's because you've left them flat.
And sulfation
And
is
the
where it's
sulfation-
drawing the sulfur out of the acid,
Yeah, and it forms on the plate of the battery,
and then the plate
and it's a
can't.
resistance.
Yeah.
And it's like a growth, actually. It grows in the middle of the plate and grows out. It's a
Oh,
little bit...
Stuart, you need to do this as a series.
Yeah. Well, I could. I probably know more about it than most people. Yeah. I love it. I love batteries and boats.
What are the other advantages? So we talked about deep cycling, we've talked about the recharge of the battery, the lifespan of a battery. Where did lithium batteries come from at this size? Because when we think about lithium batteries, we're thinking about like camera batteries and things like this.
Yeah, well, lithium's been around, as you know, on power tools and stuff like that. But because the technology is so good, that manufacturers have started to put them into batteries this size. There's very few do them like this, rely on this make. It's actually American.
Yeah.
It's a guy who I know quite well, who's been like me in the battery industry for many years. He decided that the battery industry was ready for a bit of a change. And so he's worked with suppliers of the cells and then design a battery which is compatible to a lead acid battery. In other words, using the same box size.
Yeah.
So it's a drop fit. You can take a lead acid battery out and you can put a lithium battery in.
But you can't run them both at the same time, though, can
No.
you? You can only run lithium in a bank of lithium batteries.
Yes, yeah. No, you should never mix them. That won't work.
But what we're doing with our batteries is we have a bank of lithium for the leisure batteries, but we have a starter battery
That's
which
fine.
is not lithium.
That's fine.
And
Because it charges on a different circuit.
Yeah.
Okay, the alternator.
we've got two alternators on
Yeah,
our
the
engine.
power will go from it. If it was just one alternator, it'll go along a line, and some of it will go off towards the starter battery, and some will go to domestic. That's normal.
Okay,
So
and that's
you
safe. There's nothing wrong with
There's
doing that.
nothing wrong. And the charging for a lithium battery is very, very much the same as a standard battery. On the line, yes.
Yeah.
There's one or two other makes of lithium where you need a separate battery management system.
Okay, that sounds complicated.
Which, again, it's people who don't fully understand lithium, to be honest. People who thought, oh, well, we'll do this and we'll stick a battery management system. Inside here, the battery management system is already in there.
What does it look like inside one of these batteries then?
Well, you've got multitude of little cells,
Yeah.
which are all linked together and then bolted together. Yeah. So it's quite an engineering pack, so that you've got a pack of batteries all bolted together to create the circuitry. Because they're all about 3 volts each, the cells,
Yeah.
So they're all linked together quite nicely. And then there's a big circuit board on top of their big circuit board.
Yeah. So what we're looking at here, that's
just
where the circuit board is.
Yeah, it's at the top there,
Yeah.
And then the circuit board just connects to the positive and negative. So it's not what we would conventionally call a battery. It's more like a TV or computer, or it's an electronic thing.
Wow.
It's electronic. And although it looks like a battery, it's an electrical...
It's like a device in a way, isn't it?
It is. It is the way forward, and we've linked up with Reliant to promote lithium, not just in boats, but we do it in, see over there, in
The golf
in
carts.
the golf
Yeah.
golf trolleys.
Yeah.
But the applications are massive.
Yeah.
You know, the big boat manufacturers. If you think of some of our big prestigious boat manufacturers, which I won't name, but
The big cruisers.
the
that
big
kind of-
cruisers,
and
they're
the big
still
motorboats.
using truck batteries.
Wow. So our tiny little narrowboat will be more
Yeah.
kind of...
I think you'll find, and it's kind of like why I got involved with the Electric Boat Association, is that over the coming years there's going to be more electric boats, that is for sure, whether it's just pure electric or hybrid. But also there will be more and more people using lithium, or at least gel tubular or a very good lead acid battery, because it makes total sense to upgrade your batteries on boats.
Yeah.
People shouldn't be having to worry about, in 2 years' time I need to replace my batteries.
Yeah.
That should be a thing of the past.
And that's a big expense as well.
Yeah, you know, people who buy a new car today don't think about having to change the batteries after 2 years.
No.
They will have sold the car before it needs a
Yeah.
new battery. The same should apply to boats, really.
Which brings us nicely on to
Yeah.
the question that whenever we say to people we're getting lithium batteries, they go, "Oh." And that's the expense. They are much more expensive, aren't they, than any other battery?
They're about 6 or 7 times more expensive than a standard battery.
So what's that in actual figures, if you could give us an example?
Standard battery is round about £100.
Yeah.
A lithium battery. If you call, the problem is that people have still got this perception: 100 ampere standard leisure battery, 100 ampere lithium, but they're not they're not the same.
They're not comparable
because
in any
the
way.
standard 100 ampere lead acid battery is really only a 50 ampere battery, because that's all you should be using.
Yeah.
So for a start, everyone thinks they're wrong by half straight away.
Yeah.
Because 100 ampere lithium is 100 ampere lithium. Yeah.
When we worked out
so
our calculations for the battery, it worked out that over a 10-year period it was cheaper than buying a series of
Yes,
lead
it
acid
is,
batteries.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you put the time involved in having to, whatever it takes, 2 or 3 hours to change a set of batteries. Yeah. The other thing that people don't realise is a massive, massive saving is that, like I've said, when you want to recharge the batteries, to recharge your lead acid batteries, you need to run the generator for a lot longer. So it's your diesel.
Yeah.
Over the course of a week, it could be an extra gallon of diesel every week. Every week for 10 years, what's that?
But if you're cruising, then you're using the diesel anyway, though, aren't you? If you're actually on the
You
water
are,
anyway.
if you're cruising,
Yeah.
But,
But not everybody
not
is,
everybody's cruising for 6 or 7 hours a day, are they?
Yeah.
So no, it's true.
How do the lithium batteries work with solar panels? Because we're going to be
Perfect.
using solar.
You see, also the lithium battery will absorb the power from the solar charges a lot quicker.
Quicker than if you were using a generator, or quicker than any other batteries would absorb solar?
When I say quicker, they just happen to take the power in
More
easier,
efficiently,
more
maybe.
efficiently. Yeah. Especially when a battery becomes nearly fully charged. As I'm saying with lead acid batteries, once they get to 80%, you've got to put it in more slower, so it tails off like that. Whereas the lithium says, no, just throw it in. You can recharge a lithium battery in an hour if your charge is
If you've got a good charger.
good charger.
Yeah.
So like on your, these batteries here, if you've got a charger which will do it 1 hour, which is quick. And whereas a lead acid battery, as I say, it's several hours, because the last few hours your alternator's spinning over, but it's only putting 20 amps in instead of 100 amps.
Wow.
So they're the key things. It's a massive difference.
So do you think we've done? It's been a good idea for us to get these lithium batteries, Stuart?
Totally, unbelievably so.
Brilliant.
Anybody who wants to is planning on keeping their boat for any length of time, they want value for money, or more importantly, hassle-free and long life, they're the battery to have.
So you're going to tell us a little bit about the environmental benefits of the lithium battery.
Well, the main benefit is the fact that over its, if we think the lithium battery is going to last 20 years, a standard lead acid battery, you're probably going to need to change them every 2 to 3 years. So when you've disposed of them, they've then got to be recycled. So think of the environmental impact on recycling. They've got to melt them down, they've got to remanufacture. You think of the energy absorption in remanufacturing a battery.
Yeah. And to remanufacture many batteries in the lifetime of
You see, it's not just there's the battery, taking it off, it's then got to get put on a truck. Yeah, it's got to be transported from here to Birmingham, from Birmingham to a smelter in Germany. These dirty,
So the
smelly
carbon
old
footprint is
batteries.
huge,
It's
yeah.
massive.
Yeah.
So, and then the plastic's got to be melted down, and the lead's got to be melted down, and
But because they're coming from China and America, though, they've got a higher footprint.
they do to a degree, but they are lightweight. So, if I was bringing a 100 amp hour lead acid lithium battery from China, I can only get 20 tons in a container, which is, let's say, 600 lead acid batteries. But I could get 3 times more lithium batteries in the same container.
Yeah.
So the footprint on getting them from China to here is cheaper.
Yeah, because you're able to get more of them. Yeah.
So that's a little bit thing. The biggest thing is the recycling.
Yeah. Well, and also, having something that lasts this long sort of offsets this idea that we're living in such a disposable
Yeah,
world.
exactly.
And for us, because we don't live in such a disposable world if we can avoid it. This is something that's important, that we would have an energy bank for us that wouldn't be disposable, wouldn't be buying into that idea that everything that we have to have in our lives we use once or twice and chuck away. Yeah.
That's true. And the other thing, of course, we talk about environmental, and I did mention it, is the recharging.
Yeah.
If your generator or alternator on your boat engine is recharging your battery, if it recharges the lithium battery a lot quicker and more efficiently, you can switch that dirty, smelly engine off quicker.
Yeah.
And so you're not burning fossil fuels to recharge your battery. So again, and over the course of 10 years, that's a lot of diesel,
That's a lot of
of carbon and stuff like that, and so on and so forth.